Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. In this video is to bring you a closer look at the Rockwood number KIT13 Type 13 mounting kit. A KIT 13 is going to include a bill of materials, and those items are mentioned down below this video. You're going to get two 1/4 20 by 1 1/8 long cone head bolts. You're going to get two metal washers, 4 plastic washers, you're going to get 2 bushings, and you'll get 2 set screws. And that's all what a KIT 13 is. A KIT 13 is for back-to-back mount of a pair of poles on 1/2 inch glass, or 1/2 inch something, but generally glass, right? So the bolts are going to be 1 inch long because you're generally going to have, you'll have a 1/2 inch of material. You're going to have the amount of space that's going to be taken up, of course, by the washer and by the washer, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, you're going to have about 1/2 inch that will sink into the interior or the exterior pull handle is what you'd have. The set screws, since we're talking about the bolts, those are going to be, of course, used to tighten through the bottom of the inside pull handle and nest right into the cone head profile, or the underside of that, just like this. Okay. You're going to have your 2 bushings. That's to make sure that your bolts do not contact the glass at all. So that's going to sit like that, into your door. I bet that's going to take a 5/8 hole would be my guess, and we'll take a closer look at that in a moment. Your nylon washers are for sure going to be there to keep the poles from making contact indeed with the glass. The 2 metal washers are included, and there's only 2, even though you're going to get 4 plastic washers. Top mount, bottom mount, 2. The metal washers are intended to go on the interior side only, or the side with the set screws. From the pull handle, metal washer, then plastic washer. And generally you'll see a metal washer used so as to increase the surface area between the underside of the pull handle and the face of the door, but I really only see that in wood door applications. So I would be tempted to think that you might use the metal washer as a shim, maybe. With your handle sitting over that nylon, you're gonna impede any sort of unevenness in the end of the pull handle. But stacking the 2 of them together like this, I'm really not sure why we're doing that. I spoke to the manufacturer. They said, that's where it goes. Still not convinced that it's anything more than possibly a shim, perhaps. I don't know why. I would probably opt to not use it, even though I just spoke to the manufacturer who told me that it will go on the inside where your set screws would be. So that is your KIT 13. Is that a KIT 13? Yeah, KIT 13. It's a 13, not a 13 HD. A 13 means that it's 1/4 20. And the length of the bolt that's here, the threaded portion, they say it's 1 inch. Yeah, okay, so it's definitely heavy on 1 inch. It's 1 1/8. I'm wondering if they use those for shims only because you might have 0.5 glass that's really not 0.5. Those screws might be a little long. The thickness of the shim, however, is just 0.033, so not going to take up a lot of room. The thickness of the nylon washer is 0.030. So very thin. So you'll have about 93 thousandths if you stack all of these together, plus your glass thickness is what you're going to be at. The diameter of the hole for the bushing, yeah, you're going to see a 5/8 of an inch hole drilled through the door for this material. And let's take a closer look at that. It might, however, also be mentioned as a 3/4 inch hole. So I want to pull up the, although I doubt that, I want to pull up the manufacturer's catalog and see if we can get a detail for the hole size of what's going to be used. A Type 13, yeah, 5/8 drill size. So my caliper was telling me this was just a little bit heavy on .625, but hardly so. So you're going to make sure that fits into your 5/8 of an inch hole, and that will completely isolate everything, or the bolt, from touching the metal. And that concludes everything in a Type 13. Suffice it to say, there are lots of mount types for Rockwood products. Every mount type you can buy the replacement bolts. Replacement bolts are a large portion of the maintenance work that's done on these handles because it's the steel that takes quite a beating, and I might argue that's probably just a grade 1 or a low grade bolt that's used. So what Rockwood does is they're going to give you the ability to go with a Type 13 HD, which will simply give you a larger bolt. It'll go from 1/4 20 to 5/16 18. Thicker bolt. I might argue that what would be really cool is to go with some grade 9 bolts, some stuff that will be absolutely bulletproof in that sense. However, that's how they do it, and I would encourage you also to consider a larger bolt package if you're doing handles from the beginning. I can't think of a lot of reasons not to, except that it might be less common. You know, 1/4 20 bolts pretty typical, but so is 5/16, and so is 3/8 by some manufacturers. If it is a high volume use, absolutely go with the largest diameter bolt that can be done. I can't tell you how often on a weekly basis we ship just replacement bolts to people, because those handles get pulled, those bolts get broken, they get snapped. I've seen it happen, etc. So I encourage people to order it the heaviest, dutiest way that can be done from the very beginning. Forgive me, there's a link below this video to the manufacturer's page where you can pull up not only all of the Rockwood products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. If you have any questions on the Rockwood KIT13 bolt package or any other Rockwood product, please feel free to reach out to us. And thank you.